Hallo und herzlich willkommen auf dem YouTube-Kanal von der CAGE MMA. Mein Name ist nach wie vor Florian David. Ich begrüße euch weiterhin zur Promophase zu der CAGE MMA Nummer 8 am 15.11. in der GETEC-ARENA in Magdeburg. Letzte Tickets sind verfügbar über den Link in der Videobeschreibung. Ich habe weiterhin die Ehre, euch ein paar Kämpfer vorzustellen, die an diesem Event tätig werden. Wie auch heute Andrew Herrmann bei mir im Gespräch. Der Mann ist Brite, dementsprechend wird das Interview in Englisch aufgenommen. Ich switche also kurz zu Englisch. Denke, das ist verständlich. Und in diesem Sinne... Yeah, I did a quick introduction. Hello, Andrew. Nice to talk to you. How are you?
I'm good. Just had a good morning. Figured out how to use Discord as we were just discussing. So I'm just happy to be here speaking to you.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty near to the event. Day of recording is the November 6th, so I guess the preparation is almost complete, right? How do you feel? How was preparation?
Yeah, I think this fight was it was a unique one in the sense that we had a lot of time
Mhm.
since this fight was announced to prepare. It wasn't like a 4 week camp. This has been I think since August we knew about this fight. But yeah, I think the hardest thing for me when I've got a fight far away is that I have to wait so long. So at the moment, I'm just happy that the fight is around the corner. As you said, the preparation has mostly been done.
Mhm.
I had my one of my last sparring sessions last night, which went really well, and then today I've just got some technical training sessions and a physiotherapy session. So yeah, no, I'm happy that the fight's close, and I'm excited for it.
I guess being able to game plan is something you would appreciate, but is it also a bit stressful to wait that long? Is it a challenge in itself, having such a long camp?
Yeah, it's not really. I think it's like you can always find things to be stressed about or be happy about, and you're gonna have one guy complaining he doesn't have enough time to fight or to train, and then another guy complaining that he has too much time. But I think that I can capitalize. The way my mindset is, I just capitalize on if it's a short time, it's an intense burst, and if it's a longer time, we just plan out things better. And this camp, I don't really game plan too heavily. I don't think that, especially for the current situation, it makes sense. But certainly, it's been nice to have a good period of time where we can make different blocks of training. And now we're in fight week basically, so I'm just happy that we're here.
I'm already destroying my whole plan of structuring this interview, but since we are already talking about this fight, I'm sure you didn't know the cage MMA your whole life. How could you? What were your first thoughts when you received this offer to fight in Germany?
Yeah, I looked at the promotion, and I mean my manager was in talks with so many different promotions
Okay.
during this time period, and we were talking to a lot of European promotions, and the cage they were super professional and they're a good show, good production. They offered us a fight that made sense against my understanding he's quite popular and a big name in Germany. So everything kind of just made sense, and I'm just excited. I've never been to Germany in my life. None of my team have either, so it will be a cool experience to go over there and fight there. So I think my last three fights have been in a foreign country against their hometown guy, and this will be the fourth in a row. So it's nothing different, but this time just in Germany.
So you feel comfortable being the party crasher.
There you go. I mean, to be honest, though, I think it's good vibes. I think, when the crowd's against you, I don't take it personal because it's just, at the end of the day, it's passion from them. And obviously, they're going to support their own person. I'm also coming with a lot of my own people, though, as well. So there'll be two sides to it. But I think at the end of the day, you go out and you fight and you put it all on the line and you really fight, regardless of whether you're from their country or another country, whether you beat that guy, you lose to that guy, they respect you and everyone is cool. So yeah, it's always good vibes.
That's the view of a sportsman. You mentioning never been to Germany is maybe that's a opportunity for me to have a little look on you as a person, not as a sportsman, because you seem to come around because of this sport quite a lot. You grew up in London, if that's correct, but you
Yes.
spent a lot of time of your life in Thailand. When did you move to Thailand?
So it happened in stages, but I first moved when I was 18,
Okay.
I think.
How old
And
are
it
you now?
was
Sorry to interrupt you.
now I'm 26.
Okay.
So this would have been about, yeah, a good few years ago now. And I moved there, packed up my entire life, was going to pursue MMA, doing that. And then obviously COVID hit at this time. And then it was actually a crazy situation because I was not only in Thailand at 18 years old, I was stuck there. So it was a weird situation because it was like back home, people couldn't leave the house. But then in Thailand, we were going and training and doing everything. But then it would flip. And then in Thailand, we're stuck in the house. But then back home, everyone's able to train and do everything. But then eventually, I had to briefly come back due to COVID. And then I was still in the same situation in the UK. We had pretty strict restrictions. So there were no fights happening. It was quite difficult to train. And it just made sense for me to go to Thailand and live there again. So as you may know, a lot of the big gyms in Thailand, they sponsor athletes, and it's basically your ticket to, to being a full-time athlete and getting yourself to the UFC. So I was very fortunate that I knew George Hickman from when I was there during COVID. He just happened to be opening his new gym, Bangtao, which at the time, now Bangtao is massive, but at the time it was just like a few mats and not too much going on. And they had just opened this gym. So I just DM'd him basically. And I said, look, I'm going to come through. I want to kind of be there with you guys and live there full time and get to the UFC. And he probably didn't even know who I was. I don't know if he even replied to the message, but long story short, I went over there, one-way ticket, ended up getting sponsored by them. And then I was there for the last few years.
That's a big move with 18 years old to be convinced that that's the right path. How did your martial arts career start at the beginning? Do you remember when you first got in touch with martial arts?
Yeah, you know what? It's actually hard to even properly remember, I guess. But when I was way younger, maybe 16, maybe around 16 years old, I'd say. In London, you just get, one way or another, you're going to get pulled into either fighting in sports or just situations outside of that. So I had like a lot of friends that were either training or just dabbled in it. And pretty much, I just had a guy. I wasn't even friends with the guy, to be honest. I just some random guy that I knew, and he just told me about some kickboxing gym.
Okay.
So I went down there one time, and then I was pretty good at it for a beginner, and I enjoyed it. And then I think after a few months, I started competing, and then like that, things just started going. So pretty much, the friend recommended me a gym. I started training, and then next thing I knew, I was in the ring fighting. So I didn't really intend on doing it, but it just happened.
But you started with the kickboxing. I mean, still doing it as a hobby, having fun, doing some fights, is one thing, but being a professional is definitely something different. I mean, you have to be dedicated, watching a diet, have a pretty strict life. I mean, I'm a fan of this sport. I don't mean this question critical, but why do you do it? What drives you?
Yeah, I think it's actually quite a deep question, like, because when I made the decision when I was young, I don't even think I knew why I was making the decision, right? But I think you can just go through so many different reasons in your head. I mean, first of all, I love the sport. That's the first thing, right? Not only I think a lot of people like training, but I actually really my favorite thing is to be in there fighting. Maybe some people, they like training and they just fight so they can be a professional athlete. But I want to fight. Like, I'm looking forward to November 15th more than any training session or anything like that. And secondly, like, I think I just had a big sense in myself that I'm meant to do this and I'm meant to fight and perform. And when I see like the UFC, for example, I never look at that and think, those people do it, but maybe I can't. I feel like I should be in there. So I just wanted to put in the work and do it. I also think that it grows your character, and it's a good test of you as a man to compete and do these things, especially if you're all in and you're becoming a professional athlete. So yeah, there's a million different reasons, but I just know that I'm doing it and I'm happy in the position that I'm in.
You talked about getting in contact with violence in London, and I just assume you were a kid that was in some way surrounded by it. I mean, being 16, being maybe used to have some fights on the soccer pitch or the football pitch is one thing, but how did martial arts define you as a person? Did it change you in some way? Did it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 100% it changed me, but at the same time, I think it's important. For me, it's important to understand like you're still a person. You're just a person that fights. I think some people, when they fight or they become an athlete, they make it their identity, right? But martial arts, I'm blessed and I'm grateful because it it introduced me to people that put me on a really good path in my development as a character. And I'm extremely lucky. The first gym I ever walked into, I met my first coach and mentor, Shabs, who's like family to me. He pretty much guided on me and a lot of other young guys who, you don't really know how to act a certain way and be professional, um, and just know how to do things the right way. But Shabs taught us so many things in general life that I take on myself to this day. So I again, there's like a million different things I could say, but everyone gives the cliche like discipline, confidence, self defense. But there's so many other parts of martial arts that I think you get.
But it was an interesting way to answer this question to first say I'm a person besides martial arts. Actually, I start nearly every interview, this promo, asking people to introduce themselves, and I give them the rule not to mention martial arts at the beginning, and they struggle to do it. So if you say I'm a person, I'm not just a martial artist, what defines you as a person? Do you have hobbies outside of the sport? What, how would you introduce Andrew Herrmann without mentioning martial arts?
Yeah, I think like I'd say it like this, right? The martial arts of the fighting is just my way of. It's obviously a passion of mine and now a job, and it's my way to facilitate the lifestyle I want in the future. But I think most fighters are just normal, and like I like spending time with my family, my dog, my close friends. You know, just any. I can't give that many specifics, right? But like whatever you would do on a Saturday evening or a Friday evening,
Watch
probably
martial
do
arts.
similar. You know.
I watch martial arts, but yeah, sure. I mean,
Yeah, well, you're an MMA fan, but I'm saying like to out there to normal people, like it's not. I just think that maybe when I was younger, right? I remember there was a time when I I was in like school period. So in England, we finished school at 18, I think.
mm-hmm.
But before that, when I was training, I basically just stopped going into school and was going into the gym every day to train. And there was a period of time, to be fair, where I think all I was doing was training. I wasn't even really socializing or doing anything else. I was so uninterested in anything else. It does almost become your identity a little bit. And that's why I was saying that my first coach, Shabs, I think he did a really good job in reeling us back in and making us understand that, of course, you can be dedicated and you can be all in your career and your craft, but there's more to life than just training, and you'll actually go down. I think actually it benefits you as a fighter if you have other things outside of training, outside of fighting as well. That's more what I was getting at, um, but yeah, there's so many different things when it comes to training.
You mentioned that you enjoy fighting more than training, but what part do you enjoy? Is it to be seen, to feel alive? Is it just the feeling of having competition? Can you define that?
I think it's not to be seen. Definitely, I would fight if it was in front of zero people. If right now they told us that this fight was going to be no cameras, no crowd,
Will not be.
I'd be just as happy to do it. Trust me. But I think it's just I guess it's an instinctual thing. It's not like a malicious thing, but I guess it's the purest form of competition. I think is combat in MMA, and your skill set, which is what makes you win, is a reflection of your character and the work that you put in. And I think that's probably why I like it so much. But I also just enjoy fighting. That's the truth. Like again, some people they do it, but maybe they're hoping, I want to go into that cage and win. You know, they just want to go in, win, and get some money. And those things are great. But sometimes, even when I do those things, I still kind of wish I had a good fight with the guy, you know? So, yeah, I just enjoy it.
Are you into visualization?
Yeah, I certainly visualize. I think it's important. I don't think it's something you should try to do. I think it's something that should naturally happen. But yeah, I think throughout my life, some of the things that I've got that I wanted the most, I saw it in my mind many, many times before I actually got it, and I certainly think it's a real thing.
I mean, we talked about how long this camp was, so you had a lot of time to close your eyes and think about November 15th. What are your first thoughts when you think about this weekend?
I just think about, you know what, I don't really have any thoughts to be honest, because when I enter the cage, I put myself in a flow state where I'm not thinking, and I can just kind of, if I visualize it now, I can just see and feel the energy of the crowd, the cage, being in the arena, and then just putting on my best performance. Honestly, I don't have a. I'm not one of those people that will try and visualize a specific punch or a specific takedown or whatever. Even the opponent, I don't even really see the opponent. It's just like a blank shape to me, that moves a certain way. But I'm really just visualizing the state that I'm going to be in. And I know if I'm in that state, I'll create some good things inside that cage.
You already said you experienced being the outsider, or it was the case in every of your pro fights. It will be also will be this time. Karan is from Magdeburg, the city you are fighting in. I'm pretty sure the crowd will be the biggest you've competed in front of.
How big is the crowd?
Again?
How big is the crowd?
Between 3,000 and 4,000 people. So it will be.
I know I've fought, but I mean, I'm sure it'd be different. But I have fought in front of that amount.
Okay. Sorry, didn't want to disrespect
No.
your career so far. But how does that role make you feel? I mean, the people there will mostly be against you. You said some friends will come, but is that something that gives extra motivation? Is it stressful? Is it not really? Does it even matter?
But like I said to you before, there could be 0 people, 0 cameras, or there could be 1,000 people, 10,000 people. It doesn't matter
But
because like I'm fighting him. I'm not fighting the spectators.
does that? But it still changed the experience, doesn't it?
I don't think so,
Okay.
because also, I mean, everything you're saying can apply the other way, right?
Sure.
He could be feeling pressure. Maybe he doesn't want to let them down, etc. But at least my mindset, I don't think about that because like when at least when I've been in the cage, I put myself in a focus where I can literally feel the other guy breathing. Like I know when he's breathing in, breathing out, when to land certain shots, almost like what he's thinking at times. But yeah, I like you zone in on the person so much that someone else outside the cage yelling from the crowd or whatever, you're not even focused on that. I think if you're in the right mind, if you're in the right headspace, then it shouldn't make a difference. And I've been, whether it's in the sport or it's in my life, I feel like I've been in so many high pressure situations. I wouldn't be here if I couldn't handle pressure. So I'm happy for the opportunity to show that I can perform under this pressure and it doesn't make a difference to me.
You said the opponent itself doesn't really matter when you think about the experience of fighting, but I'm pretty sure you still watched some tape on Karan Mosebach, your opponent. How do you think about him? What does that guy do good? What maybe not so good? What are your first?
But to be honest, I've seen a couple clips. I really don't watch that much tape. It's more my coaches and my team that do that, and they kind of adjust things in the training as they feel is necessary. But from the little I have seen, obviously he's strong. He's a good fighter. We're both undefeated, and as you said, he's fighting in his own hometown. So I'm sure he's going to come in to win. I don't think this is not one of those fights where you got one guy who's really high level and it's a mismatch. Like I think it's going to be a good fight between the two of us, and that's exactly what I wanted. I'm trying to do big things in my career and fight the best guys. So yeah, I respect him. I don't know him. I don't know much about him or even the way he fights, but like I said, I'm just going to go in there and perform, regardless of whether it's him or if God forbid he did get injured and it was someone else, I'll perform against them. It doesn't really make a difference to me.
I guess that's the part where answers generally get shorter. What will you do better? What makes you confident that your arm will be raised at the end?
I'm just confident in my skill set. I mean, I think MMA it's hard to say specifics because anything can happen. But you know, this guy, it doesn't matter if it's him or someone else. They're gonna try and take you down. They're gonna try and punch you. They're gonna try and kick you. They're gonna try and submit you. It's the same formula, right? And I think I've been prepared for all of it. I've trained with some of the best guys in the UK and Spain for this camp, whether they're the best strikers, best grapplers, and I'm just confident in the skill set that we've built and my ability to perform under the lights. So just everything.
Okay.
To answer your question maybe more clearly, this is not a fight where there's a specific area where there's a massive advantage. I just think I have to go in there and beat him everywhere. I don't think he's really weak in any area. I don't think he's really strong in any area that I have to avoid. It's just going to be a fight wherever it goes.
But that's also a way I would describe you. I mean, you're also punching, kicking, wrestling, grappling. So I guess, yeah, we don't have a typical clash of styles. That's what makes the matchup pretty exciting. One thing is for sure, I'm very much looking forward to this fight. I think this interview already was pretty complete. We talked a little bit about you as a person, what drives you, what do you think about this fight? Do you have, first of all, thank you for your time, of course, but do you have any last words, maybe to your friends, to your supporters, to Karan himself, to the crowd? What do you want to say to end this interview?
I appreciate everyone that's supporting me on this journey, and I'm just excited to perform. And thank you to all of my sponsors that are on this camp with me and just in general. But yeah, I'm just excited to come to Germany, put on this performance, and meet all you guys at the cage and everything. So yeah, let's go. We've got 1 week in this time.
Also 15.11. GETEC-ARENA. Nochmal, die letzten Tickets gibt es über den Link in der Videobeschreibung. Andrew Herrmann gegen Karan Mosebach wird ein großartiger Kampf. Den wollt ihr nicht verpassen.